Chapter 2 continues. A man who looked like the sumo sticker asked someone for directions? What? At approximately 5 p.m. on October 6th, near Shoto First Avenue, Shibuya, a girl walked home from school was asked by a suspicious man, "Do you know where I can get some chanko?" Chanko is a favorite dish of sumo wrestlers. The man asking her was around 30 years old, 170 centimeters tall, heavy set with black hair. His face looked very similar to the face on the sumo stickers. Always stay on well-lit, heavy traveled roads. Carry a personal alarm with you. Information released by Shibuya Police. Okay, interesting. I lolled. Not gonna lie, I lolled pretty hard. Give the poor guy a break. Is it wrong for a fat guy to want some chanko? I'm probably mispronouncing that. It's a jungle out there these days. People like us can't do anything without getting the cops called. Whose face looks very similar to sumo stickers. Are they sure he wasn't an actual sumo wrestler? Why? What's he got to do with the sumo stickers? So now you're a suspicious person just for asking for directions. What the hell? I'm gonna be honest, talking to a schoolgirl was a no-go. Talking to a schoolboy would also be a no-no. Did I say no-go? The only safe option would be to go find a sumo wrestler, a real sumo wrestler, and ask him. Actually, I think I saw this guy a week ago. He was running down Tamagawa Street, really sweaty. He kept mumbling, "Chanko, chanko, chanko." He really did look like the sumo sticker guy. Maybe he was the model for them? What's a sumo sticker? Someone tell me. Well, somebody's been living under a rock. Someone tell me if he ever actually got chanko. I would piss myself if a guy like that talked to me. We're at the bottom. The guy who looks like this, just like the sumo stickers, says who, lol. The news said they found a sumo sticker at the scene of the Love Hotel killing last month. Maybe this guy was the murderer? Like, maybe he places a sticker each time he commits a murder? Japan is such a peaceful place. Get thee to a sumo ring. Thee? Really? In other words, he'd been looking for his chanko for a whole week. Let's hope when they arrest him, they give him chanko instead of katsudan. Anyway, I feel like some chanko now. Okay, I'm googling it. I need to know what this dish is. Like, it's gonna bug me. And who knows, maybe I'll even get a pronunciation. It's a stew. Oh wow, that actually looks pretty good. Goddamn. Alright. No clarification on the pronunciation, but now I know what it is and looks like, and honestly, it does look pretty good.
少しずつでも確実に歴史シールというものが人々の間に不確実な噂として浸透し始めていた。噂は集団の中で憶測を呼び、ありもしない幻影、つまりは妄想を生み出していく。一度動き出した歯車はもう誰にも止められないのだということに僕らは気づいていなかった。
That was weird. It's like a sharp pain in my chest. Didn't like that. (2 p.m.) As the whole school got excited for the start of the culture festival in 2 days, our club room was as quiet as a tomb. Yeah, things are not looking good for the newspaper club, gonna be honest. The only sound was Sarika's occasional fiddling with her cell phone strap. That would quickly stop, and only the silence would remain. Kazuki had even stopped playing ESO 2. Say it ain't so. Everyone had looked miserable when they heard about Kurusu. Yeah.
ごめんごめん。お待たせ。
Is Miyashiro here? Or is it just those three? The teacher came in with his usual dopey grin.
会議が長引いちゃってね。無茶なこと言われるこっちの立場も考えてほしいもんだよね。まったく。
Okay, he is here.
ああ。
I'm gonna be honest, I hate this guy. I hate that face in particular. I do not like it. He looked around at us and scratched his head.
新聞部のことなんだけれど。
Everyone looked at him. That's why we've been waiting, to hear what he had to say.
やっぱり、当分の間は活動休止にするそうだ。
Shut down. I repeated the words in my mind.
決定ですか？
こうなっちゃった以上はね。
Kurusu hadn't told Yui and Yuto, but before she'd been taken to the hospital, the police had asked her several questions. She'd had to tell them what she was doing there. Of course she would, otherwise she'd have no reason to explain the camera. And after the incident at the Love Hotel, the teachers probably had it in for us to begin with. Thinking back, it was a miracle we weren't shut down after the Love Hotel case. That's a really good point, honestly.
ただ、一個条件というか命令というか、罪滅ぼしっていうんじゃないんだろうけど、なんて言ったらいいかな。
いや、何でもいいですから。何です？
ね。
He looked down at the paper he was holding.
君たち、渡部智明って知ってるかい？
Huh? The name does sound familiar.
ネット記者のですか？
そうそう
That guy.
ニコニア動画の。宮代くんよく知ってるね。
いえ。
Of course I knew it. He was famous to anyone who used Nikonia, and the club had just been talking about the video he made the other day. And a lot of the class knew about him from his job at Nikonia too.
彼から文化祭で新聞部と対談したいっていうオファーが来てるんだ。
は？
なんで？
さあね、もともとうちの文化祭を渡部さんは取材することになっていたらしいんだけどね。ほら、うちって結構有名だから。
Was it about the Restoration Festival? It was true that our cultural festival was considered to be part of the run-up to the big Shibuya Restoration Festival.
で、その際にぜひ新聞部と対談したいって言うんだ。なんでも君たちが作成した新聞に興味があるらしくてね。
That's interesting.
マジかよ。
The newspaper we'd made. It was probably talking about the video we'd made on the sumo stickers. The one that had gotten all those views because Watabe had come out with the same article at almost the same time.
僕は知らなかったんだけど、最近結構有名な人らしいじゃないか。それで学校側としては断りにくくてね。活動は休止だけど、その対談だけはこなしてほしいって言うんだよ。対面として。いいかな？
いいかなって言われても。
It was all so sudden that I was having a hard time processing it. And wait,
学校側からの指示なんですよね。
he nodded. Why? And we didn't have the right to refuse, did we?
わかりました。
よかった。いやー、本当は廃部って言われてたところ、この件で粘って休止にしてもらったからさ。
That wasn't funny.
対談は文化祭初日、あさってだから。細かい段取りはまた明日連絡するよ。あとそれから。
Oh, I forgot to.
クルス君からの伝言なんだけど。部の活動自体は本日から休止だから、文化祭の記録映像を撮ったりはもうできない。その代わり、生徒会の手伝いをしてほしいそうだ。自分の空いた穴を埋めてくれって。
そ そっか。のんちゃん会長だもんね。
今度の文化祭は盛り上がってるからね。手が足りないんだ。生徒会顧問としてもぜひ頼むよ。
Normally, I'd turn down any request from the student council.
でも
Right now, it didn't bother me at all.
わかりました。
助かるよ。じゃあ後で生徒会室に顔を出してね。
Oh, that's gonna bother me. Really don't have to take these off. They're such a pain to put back on. I did it. I did it.
渡部と対談ってマジか。
That was a pretty big deal, yeah. No one had come to interview the newspaper club since its founding. This wasn't an entirely good thing. The club had been shut down, but we were still having an interview with someone famous. And more than anything, I thought about Kurusu, who was still home in bed. Sarika stood up from her seat. She walked over to the windowsill and opened the window. Chilly air blew into the room.
尾上
She suddenly leaned out the window and screamed. And then she leaned back inside and closed the window. That's... You know, sometimes you need a good scream.
切り替えよう。タク、しんちゃん、はなちゃん。ほら、タク、仕切ってよ。
え
のんちゃんからの頼まれ事でしょ。やれるとこからやろう。
Sarika looked right at me as she spoke. Ito and Kazuki turned toward me as well.
タク、
Fine, fine. I slapped myself on the cheeks to help me focus. The place where Kawahara hit me still stung.
よし。じゃあまず伊藤、生徒会室に行って生徒会から何をやればいいか指示を仰いできてくれるか。
俺お前は
僕は行かない方がいい。
I pointed to my cheek. Ito nodded. We're not exactly on good terms with that guy. Kawahara was the vice principal. Vice what? Kawahara was the vice president of the student council.
ああ、私も行くよ。
わかった。じゃあ和樹は。
She was going back to her game, huh?
何すればいいか分かったら手伝ってくれよ。
うん。
She nodded just a little.
お前は
Hmm.
渡部との対談の準備をしておくよ。多分力士シールの動画に関することだと思うけど。
だよな。何なんだろうな、このタイミングで。
That was a good question, yeah. Why would a reporter come meet with the people who'd ended up starting a flame war over one of his articles? He definitely wasn't coming to apologize.
しんちゃん、行くよ。
That's, I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I'm at too. It's like, why?
お
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like, I feel like he probably knows that we know more than he does, maybe, and he wants info, but I don't know. Feels fishy. I pulled Watabe's article up on the PC screen.
まだゆるく炎上してるな。
pace of the comments was starting to slow down, but they remained basically negative. There was no way Watabe wouldn't have noticed that. Of course, he would have noticed our video as well. Hold on, Dude, Meso is going nuts on this guy. That's excessive. That's a bit much. A lot of the comments were posting the link.
なんだって言うんだ。
Did he want to ask us something about the sumo stickers? No, he wouldn't need to do an interview if that was the case. And in any event, he'd uploaded a close-up of the sumo sticker Revolving Dead, which we hadn't been able to incorporate into our video even though we'd been at the scene. We'd had to go back to the Love Hotel and upload a photo we'd taken from the street. To be honest, our article was basically the same as his, but his photos were a lot better. I couldn't imagine there was anything he wanted to ask us.
もしかして病院のこと？
That was impossible. No one but me and Serica knew about it. Well, and those two weirdos. Those people who stole your phone, man. No, there was no point in thinking about it. I needed to get ready for the interview and then do what Kurusu asked me.
Huh?
Huh? Something bothered me, so I went over to the board.
回転デッドの力士シールのアップの画像は
I carefully removed the one that was on the board. Oh, is it a different sticker? I knew it.
表情が違ってる。
Yo, it's like it's one of the different styles. His is a fake. I went back in front of the map and put the picture back on. The photo that we'd taken of the sticker and the sticker in Watabe's article were different. What was going on with that? Once everyone got back to the club room, I'd talk to them about it. October 8th, 2015, Friday. 11:45 p.m. The Shibuya Earthquake Memorial. The town was silent, as if it didn't even know she was there. She was standing before the names of the dead, as unmoving as the stone in front of her. In fact, it was hard to tell that she wasn't dead herself. The wind that blew down from the tops of the buildings refused to touch her scraggly hair. The eyes that poked out through her hair were cloudy and lifeless, and her lip was pressed into a frown. She must have not bathed recently because the smell around her was terrible. Her black clothes melted into the darkness, making the red jacket stand out a little against the gloom. Who the hell is this? A sound came from her lip. She pressed her jaw together as if trying to crush a piece of meat. Her leg dragged along as she started to walk, heading toward the ground. In that moment, she stood out from the scene around her. Her hair pressed up against her face made it impossible to read her expression. The most noticeable thing about her wasn't the stench or the sound of gritting teeth. It was her anger and rage. The anger and rage covered everything about her. Her legs came to a stop. She reached out a glove-covered hand and touched a name on the memorial. She dug her fingernail into it. She scratched again and again, as if trying to rub it out. Her nail broke inside the glove, unable to handle the force. But she didn't stop. She ignored the blood dribbling out of her glove as if she didn't feel any pain. Red continued to stain the memorial stone. The date changed. It was now October 9th. There was only one day left until October 10th, the date of the next New Generation Madness killing. Yeah, that's not good. Oh, this again. Ed Lucas, I apologize for the wait. Amy. The test images spreading rapidly as expected. Maintain things as they are. Yes. And the target? We will make contact with a reporter named Watabe tomorrow. Kill him. Oh. Okay. Oh, wow. Chapter... Continue on to chapter 2. Chapter 3. Alright, we're in chapter 3 now. Neat. I'm really pacing these out beautifully. October 9th, 2015, Friday.
さて、以上のように私の取材によって一連の事件はニュージェネレーションの狂気と呼ばれたあの事件を踏襲していると断言しても良いと思われるわけですが、その事実にこの私とほぼ同じくして気づいた動画がアップされていたのを皆さんご存知でしょうか。
Who the hell is that creepy lady though? I think this is like the third time she's shown up, and it was just like she's angry, she's dirty apparently, and just like moving along through the city. What the hell's going on there? That is officially my most, like, that is my highest curiosity. That is the plot point I am most invested in right now, is who the hell is that chick?
私のようにジャーナリズムを目指すと思われる若者たちがこうして育ってきていることは非常に喜ばしい限りです。そして当の渋谷ではあの忌まわしい事件からの再出発を記念すべく近々復興祭が行われることになっています。それに先立ちまして私はその兵器法学園にて明日文化祭が行われるという情報を入手いたしました。そう、その通り。さすが勘のいい皆さんはすでにお分かりのようですが、明日の午後文化祭中である壁法学園に赴き新聞部に突撃インタビューを行おうと考えております。ジャーナリズムを目指す若者たちの今、そしてもちろん彼らがどのようにして私と同じ情報を得事件の裏に隠された共通点に到達することができたのかを突っ込んで聞いてみたいと思います。彼らとの対話によっては事件の犯人像にさらに近づけるかもしれません。真実の追求、それが我々ジャーナリストの使命であり証であります。
This guy definitely seems to have quite the ego on him.
それでは本日の放送はここまでです。明日の対談、果たしてどんな話が飛び出すのか、そして事件の真相はお見逃しなく。
お疲れ様でした。
何がジャーナリストの使命だ。いや、なんでもないよ。
Oh, it looks like he's also a two-faced hack.
そうっすか。
Neat.
それより見てくださいよ。今日のカウント数新記録ですよ。それだけ世間の注目が高いってことっすね。
当たり前だろう。俺がやってんだから。
Ugh. Gross.
いや、
そうっすか。まあ明日の放送も楽しみにしてますよ。
任せておけ。明日はもっとカウントいく放送にしてやるよ。そう、この俺の手でな。
What a douche. Oh. Physical exertion. I take it that's not his strong suit. put the cardboard box I was carrying down on the desk. Finally, I was able to relax. Compared to the physical therapy I'd done after my coma, this was nothing, but my arms and legs were sore.
大体どうして僕たちが生徒会の仕事なんて。
そりゃ俺たちが生徒会に迷惑かけちまったからだろ。
Ito was standing next to the windowsill, where the warm sunlight was pouring in. He looked comfortable. There was no one in the room but me and him.
確かに生徒会の仕事を手伝う約束はしたけどさ、いくらなんでもこき使いすぎだ。
I'd been running around all day carrying one thing or another. Everyone, myself most of all, knew that I wasn't cut out for physical labor. What's more,
伊藤、
how the hell could he be playing with his smartphone when I was working so hard? After I complained, he said,
んなこと言ったってクレーム対応は嫌だって言ったのはお前だろ。
With just one day left until the festival, all the clubs had complaints and demands to make of the student council. They'd asked for someone who could listen to them and relay them to the student council, and I decided there was no way I could do that, so I left it to Ito.
それより見たかこれ。
Ito showed me his phone, which he'd been playing with.
なんだ。
さっき渡部が配信してたんだよ。明日のこといろいろ喋ってたぞ。
え？
Just like Ito had said, the phone was playing a video that had gone up in the last half hour.
それに見ろよこのカウント数。最近の報道でどんどん伸びてるっぽいし、明日は期待してもいいかもな。
期待ね。
なんだよそのリアクション。お前だって昨日は興奮してただろ。
I won't deny that I got a little excited when I heard about tomorrow's interview, but...
やっぱりいいように利用されているだけの気がするんだよな。そもそもあの情報自体僕たちの方が早く配信してたんだぞ。それを渡部はいかにも同じタイミングだったみたいに扱ってる。
It was a common media trick to suggest things that weren't true without actually lying.
自分の方が後出しだったってことをうやむやにしようとしてるってわけか。
ああ。
And it also felt like he was trying to use all the flame wars to up his view counts.
仮にそうだとしたらどうするんだよ明日のインタビュー。
別に普通に受けるよ。それが学校側からの条件なんだから。
No. Honestly, I'd like to shoot him down and show him up as a liar.
けど
Not an option, unfortunately. The second I started to get a little excited, the place left on my cheek after Kawahara hit me started to ache. For now, I needed to focus on helping the student council, not the case.
あれ、そういえば川原くんは。
ああ、なんだっけ校庭にあっただろ。風鈴だかなんだか飾るやつ。
ああ、願い事がどうとかいう。
I'm just imagining like the lump on his cheek turns into like a Kawahara sensor. Like, oh, it aches, he must be near. That's really dumb. One of the classes was doing something about the Shibuya earthquake. It said they were making an area where you would write your wish on a sheet of paper that would be tied to a wind chime. We'd been told to submit something, but I hadn't. To be honest, I didn't really like stuff like that.
あれの設置で走り回ってるってさっき。
あ。
Speak of the devil. Kawahara frowned a little when he saw me. He started to open his mouth, then closed it, and glanced at Ito, and then sighed, something in him deciding to just give up.
終わったのか。え？
Kawahara was looking at the box I'd been carrying.
はい。じゃあ、次は受付にパンフ運んでくれ。パンフレットですね。わかりました。
いってらっしゃい。
I glared at Ito, then picked up the box with the pamphlets and went to leave the student council room. Kawahara was still frowning at me. That's strange. I was sure he'd say something about Kurusu, or at least insult me. After I finished carrying the pamphlets, I went to buy a drink from the vending machine. If I didn't get some caffeine from a Mountain View, I wasn't going to be able to move. Good old Mountain View. Someone was tugging at the hem of my uniform. I quickly turned around.
はい、なんでしょう。
Hello?
で、和樹か。脅かすなよ。
She'd been sent to help with her class's display, which was just about finished up.
クラスの仕事終わったのか？だったら生徒会の方の手伝いを頼む。
She's sleepwalking? No. Kazuki tugged even harder at my uniform.
いや、だから生徒会の手伝いを。もしかしてついてこいって言ってるのか？
She nodded. It's been a while since... I mean, it hasn't, but it feels like it. I'll go with the green one. Her expression hadn't changed, but it seemed like she was having some kind of trouble. What was going on? Did she want me to help out with something? I needed to get back to the student council room. But it was incredibly rare for Kazuki to actually come to me for help. It wouldn't be right to just ignore her. She's such an interesting character, like she's just completely non-verbal. It's...
わかったよ。しょうがないからついてってやる。
very unusual for a character. Oh god, this is gonna get weird. I forgot what green means. No way. Did Kazuki grin? I don't know why I turned into that. I don't know why I turned into frat bro all of a sudden. That was something you almost never saw. I'm not doing that.
それでどこへ行くんだ？
I faintly hoped that something incredible was about to happen. Kazuki grabbed my sleeve and started walking. Sometimes these aren't too weird. Sometimes they're just really cute and fun, and I hope it's that type. She took me up to the roof of the school.
Help me.
I suddenly heard a girl's voice. I looked around, but only the two of us were there.
なんだ、ただの空耳か。
Help me.
That gasp. No, I wasn't imagining it. I really did hear it. Hold on, I wanna... I looked around again, but there was nobody there but me and Kazuki. And there was no place for anybody to hide. Which meant...
もしかして今の和樹お前か？
うん。
お前喋れたのか？
No, I mean, of course she can talk, but it was just really surprising, okay?
でもどうしていきなり
Help me, タクル宮代. You are my only hope.
Okay. Alright, that one got me. That was not what I was expecting. That is absolutely not what I was expecting. Also, this pose is really cute. Oh my god, that's really funny.
は？
It's like... Why was she speaking English? Could Kazuki maybe not speak Japanese? Maybe she'd grown up outside the country? Maybe that's why she never talked. But her English didn't seem very good. And then suddenly, A loud fanfare played. Where was that sound coming from? As I looked around frantically, giant words appeared in the sky and started to scroll. Oh my god, we're really doing this. It's just going full on. Just going full on Star Wars. Oh my god. Long time ago in a galaxy far, far. Oh no, it's Spark Wars. That's right. Episode 34. Oh my god, no. No, I want to read all of this. You cannot just make it go that quickly. The Kazuchi Empire, Galactic Empire has endured civil war for over a century. The independent space fleet has rebelled against the oppression of the Galactic Emperor Rudolph XV. Striking from a hidden base, they have succeeded in dealing a blow against the Empire. In the midst of the battle, members of the rebellion's 351st Ultra-High Altitude Paratrooper Squad succeeded in sealing the plans for the Black Hole Fortress the Empire was developing. Oh my god, this fortress was the ultimate weapon of mass destruction. Sorry. A terrifying device that would destroy even the space that it passed through. Princess Hana Kazuchi... I don't even know. I guess it would just be Kazuki, right? The 8th daughter of the Galactic Emperor and a spy for the rebellion, has taken these plans out of the Empire's reach and is hiding on a border planet from the core world. What? Is hiding on a border planet far from the core words Earth. Her goal is to take the plans and reunite with the independent space fleet. That is the key to ending the galactic war and saving the whole universe. Incredible.
今のって何？
AR? Or projection mapping? Kazuki's expression didn't change at all.
私の本名はカーズキー・ハンナ。カーズキー大聖団帝国である銀河帝王ルドルフ15世の第8王女です。
What?
助けてください。ちなみにあなたは私の双子の兄です。あと最終的にあなたは生き別れの実の父親と戦うことになります。
Hey, dude, spoilers!
つまりルドルフ15世のことですが。というわけで助けてください。
というわけでとか言われてもな。
So,
ダイジェストで説明されても困る。
Right. Come on now. Pacing.
さあ行きましょう。
どこへ？
あの星の彼方へ。
I'm so happy I picked that one. That is so funny. Did I maybe want to put on a Spark Wars play at the Culture Festival? That surprised even me. But Spark Wars was... Why is Spark Wars... So Spark Wars has no spaces on the end. No matter where you put it, they just didn't put any spaces on the ends of it, which is really funny. But Spark Wars was too old for a high school kid like... For a high school kid to use in a play. I considered this as I walked, but then... And the next thing I knew, I was in the courtyard. Oh man, that's really funny. I need a moment to recover from that. Spark Wars, baby. Alright. Kazuki stopped in front of some large object with a vinyl covering on top of it. What was this thing? Kazuki stared at it for a moment and then pointed at it.
もしかしてこれを運ばなきゃならないとか？
She nodded. But what was this thing anyway? Hey! She took a piece of paper out of her pocket. It looked like some kind of handmade flyer. Bright colors and big letters it said, Class 1A's Let's Build a Gun Barrel Project.
ガンバレルってアニメの？
Yeah. Gun Barrel was an anime that had started back when I was in middle school. When most anime these days only lasted 3 to 6 months, Gun Barrel had been on forever. In fact, it had just ended the other day. and some idiot had decided to cancel it just before the last episode could air. This had caused a huge uproar. All of this had made Gunveil a truly legendary anime,
これって和樹のクラスの展示物。
inspiring youth all across the nation. I see. They must have been attempting to make a model of the robot from the anime. One moment. And so they'd made all the parts in the courtyard, and now they had to get them to their classroom.
でもなんで
Well,
和樹が
good
一人で
luck
運
with
ばなきゃい
that.
けないんだ。クラスの連中は
I followed Kazuki's gaze over to the entrance and saw students in pairs happily carrying large objects covered in sheets.
なるほど。ぼっちには辛い状況だな。
I feel personally attacked there. Don't kick me in the shin. And if you're going to kick me in the shin, don't do it so hard. Oh my god, Kazuki's the best.
誰がぼっ
She's
ち
the
だ
best.
違うわ。今日はたまたま仲のいい子が休んでるだけだから。すまん、僕の勘違いだ。
I decided to play along.
で、僕にどうしろと。
Oh, that's really funny.
代わりに運ぶのを手伝えって。でもこれって重いんじゃないのか。
Don't look at me with those puppy dog eyes. Fine. Normally I would have found some way to get out of it, but if Kurusu wanted the culture festival to succeed, I didn't have a choice. I reached down to grab the object under the sheet.
よし、そっち回って。さあ、いっせーので持ち上げるぞ。行くぞ。いっせーの。おい。お前リズム感ないのか。完全にずれてるぞ。遅い。
We weren't in sync at all. She would lift up a moment or two after I did. Because of that, we almost dropped it on the ground.
僕が悪いみたいな顔をするなよ。もう一回やるぞ。いっせー。今度は早っ。もういい。和樹に僕が合わせるから、とにかく持ち上げろ。
As she started to lift, I did too. We staggered, but managed to keep it steady.
よし。それじゃ、このまま運ぼう。
We slowly headed toward Kazuki's classroom, counting 1, 2, 1, 2 to keep ourselves in unison. Of course, I was the only one who actually spoke.
そこんとこ角になってるからな。気をつけろよ。
We made it to the stairs. This is where things got hard.
先に登って。そうそう。そのままゆっくりゆっくり。踏み外すな。踏み外すんじゃないぞ。
By making Kazuki go first so that I could hold it from the bottom was a mistake.
あ、おい。
Oh no. Oh, you're about to die. Even after all my warnings, Kazuki slipped and I was splattered against the wall, and that's the end. Damn it. I told you not to trip. We were just lucky we hadn't climbed up that much.
大丈夫か、カズキ。
Oh my lord. Come on now. The situation was... Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. Oh my lord. No, it's too weird. Honestly, I'm tempted to just say nothing, but I gotta pick something. Can't. Hands at your sides, mister. Something you saw all the time in anime, wasn't it? Anyway, I needed to do something about this. I mean, I feel like the correct option is wait for her to move. Don't do anything, my guy. Kazuki was so light, though. Well, she wasn't very tall, but she had a pretty good body, so actually... Wait, what was I thinking? What if someone came by and saw us? No, I needed to do something. But part of me wanted to enjoy the sensation a little more. Jesus Christ, come on. Come on. Come on, my guy.
監視されているの。
Huh? Her voice was so soft I could barely hear it. If I hadn't been directly under her, I wouldn't have been able to hear it at all.
私は監視されています。24時間ずっとです。学校にいる時も、通学途中も、家にいる時も、ゲームをしている時も、監視の目を感じるんです。彼らは巧妙に姿を隠しているんですよ。実際には隠していないのですが、隠さないことで逆に紛れているんです。
Well, like a hide the tree in the forest situation?
そうしてたまに私に接触してきます。それは彼らなりの警告です。お前を監視しているぞと私に教えているんですね。
And then I realized it wasn't that Kazuki wasn't talking. It was simply that no one had ever heard her.
今日は学校に来る途中でサラリーマンの男の人とぶつかりました。私はカバンの中身をぶちまけてしまいました。その人は謝りながら拾うのを手伝ってくれたんですよ。その人も彼らの仲間であり、私を監視している一人です。間違いないです。街のあちこちにいるんです。そうやって何気なく私を見張っている人は他にもたくさんいます。家には調べてはいませんが、盗聴器がおそらく10個以上は仕掛けられているでしょうね。なぜ調べないのかといえば、調べると彼らに気づかれるからです。もし私が盗聴器の存在に気づいていることが知られたら、彼らはもっと直接的な行動に出てくるでしょう。だから私は気づかないふりをすることしかできません。家の前の駐車場にはいつも怪しい白いワゴンが止まっています。その車は本当に毎日ずっとそこに止まっているんです。
Oh my god, it just keeps going.
一度人が乗っているのを見ました。エンジンもかけずに助手席に座っていました。運転席は空っぽでした。盗聴器が拾う音を聞いていたんだと思います。学校でも常に見張られています。今こうして先輩と密着していることもすでに上に報告されているでしょうね。生徒の中にスパイが紛れ込んでいます。しかも一人や二人ではなく何十人という数です。私が校内のどこへ行こうとも必ず誰かが私を見ています。例えば私のクラスの大河内さんはスパイです。以前1週間の間にトイレで8回も会いました。私を尾行しているんです。直接大河内さんにあなたはスパイでしょうと聞いてみました。正しくは怒鳴ったんですが、そうしたら彼女はしまったという顔をして逃げていきました。
Kazuki yelling is something I literally can't even imagine right now.
宮代先輩も私と同じ部なので当然見張られています。野々先輩やセリカ先輩や伊藤先輩に不自然な様子はありませんでしたか？視線を感じませんか？ 私は感じます。私が部室でゲームをしている時が多いです。場合によってはこそこそと小声で話しているのをわざと私に聞かせてきたりします。
Like how there's not been a single interjection, either vocally or like thought-wise, from Miyashiro.
そういう
Not a
時
single.
私は気づいているけれど気づいていないふりをするために
Just
壁を殴ります。
continues on and on.
ええ、隣の部屋の壁越しに声が聞こえてくるんですよ。殴るとしばらくは静かになりますが、また1時間もしないうちにひそひそと話し出すんです。すごくムカつきます。彼らは巧妙に私たちの日常生活の中に紛れ込んでいます。よっぽど注意しないと彼らの正体には気づくことができません。でも私が今こうして話したからもう先輩も気づいてしまった。先輩の家も盗聴されています。もしかしたら隠しカメラもあるかも。あの公園のホームレスの中にもスパイはいます。私のスカートのポケットの中に護身用の催涙スプレーが入っています。それをこっそり持って行ってください。いざという時に使うんです。
Is she talking faster and faster?
それとも先輩もスパイですか？だとしたらそう言ってください。
She's definitely getting
私は
faster.
誰も信じません。先輩のことも信じていません。どうなんですか？
和樹、落ち着いて。
スパイですか？
I don't think so.
スパイなんですか？スパイですよね。私のこといつも見てますもんね。気持ち悪いです。やめてください。誰か助けて。
She's insane.
お前どうかしてるよ。
Just kidding, she's fine. If that was why she didn't talk, that would be horrible. We wouldn't be able to be friends after that. Well, that probably wasn't the case. Anyway, I couldn't stay like this forever. Yeah, can we, like, you know, move on from this situation? I needed to stand up before someone saw me.
和樹、怪我はないか？ほら、じゃあ立って。早いところこれ持っていこう。
Fortunately, the gun barrel part wasn't damaged at all. We headed to Kazuki's classroom, being careful not to trip this time.
1の A、ここか。
A girl near the entrance saw Kazuki and ran over. She looked like a normal, average girl.
カズキ運んできてくれたんだ。てっきりバックれたのかと思ってた。あれてかこっちの人は？
いや、その。
ああ、知ってる。確か新聞部の。明日渡部と対談するって。
How did she know? Well, I imagine it's on the schedule, right?
大河内って言います。
いや、名前じゃなくて、知ってるんですか？その、渡部との。
やだ、みんな知ってますよ。噂になってるし。
That surprised me. I thought that only a few people at school would know about a Nico Nia reporter. I had no idea a girl like this, who didn't look like she kept up with the news at all, would know about it. And there were even rumors about it.
頑張ってくださいね。楽しみにしてますから。
はい、ありがとうございます。
Kazuki ignored the two of us and took the part inside, and then silently put it on the floor. No one tried to help. Well, that's not very nice. But as I went over to her...
わざわざすいません。あとはこっちでやっとくんで、そこに置いといてください。
That girl, Okuchi... Okuchi? Oh my god. How did she say it? Christ.
大河内って言います。
Okochi. Got it. Okochi what? Said that to me. Okay. All of that for that one. I did as I was asked and left the room. And then Kazuki followed me.
何
He offered me a lollipop.
くれるのか
Was this her way of thanking me? But
それ食べかけだろ
she sighed and put it back in her mouth, then took out a small bag from her skirt pocket. It was dried squid.
どうも手が空いたら生徒会の方も手伝ってくれよ一応部員なんだから
Kosuke shrugged and walked up the stairs. Maybe she was going back to the club room to play her game some more. I probably couldn't count on her to help. October 9th, 2015, Friday. Hiroko Tashida was working at her part-time job as a grocery store cash register. What the fuck is happening? Why are we... What? Who is Hiroko Tashida and why are we talking about her right now? What the fuck is going on? Her husband was always out working late, but he didn't actually make any money. His airheaded personality meant that he was perennially stuck in lower management. Her son was in college and spent all his time playing. She was spending a lot of money to send him there, but he'd grown into a selfish boy who constantly demanded cars and trips. And of course, their budget was always stretched to the limit. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna give you any like, parenting advice or anything, but maybe stop buying him cars and trips. Just a thought, you know? They hadn't built up any kind of savings. They lived in Shibuya, true, but she had to live with her in-laws, which didn't make things easy at all. The idea of going to lunch with her friends from the neighborhood seemed as remote as the fiction she saw paraded on the news every night. She wanted an easier life. Lately, she'd been all sighs. She's dead, right? Like, she's totally gonna die. There's no way, right? This is how this goes. They vignette to some random ass person, and I get like they're gonna tell me about her, and I'm gonna get like emotionally invested, and then they're gonna murder her. Yesterday, she'd actually sighed at work and gotten a warning from her boss. The store where she worked was along Meiji Road, about a 5-minute walk from Shibuya. The lunchtime rush had ended and things were calming down. She wanted to take a little break, but it wasn't break time yet. Also, this is some murdery music. This is some murder music.
合計
Definitely.
で3127円になります。
The woman in front of her, who was taking out her wallet, was one she'd seen several times before. She wore fancy clothes and had a slender, attractive body. Her makeup was perfect, too. Even when she was only going shopping at a supermarket. She must live in a different world. Maybe she was what they called a celebrity wife. The woman seemed very anxious as she waited for her to finish. Tashida hadn't even handed her over her change yet, and she'd already lifted up her shopping basket. What was bothering so much? What was bothering her? Was she feeling sick? She did seem a little pale. Tashida wondered about her, but they didn't have enough of a relationship that she felt comfortable asking. She handed her the receipt and her change, and the woman quickly left. Tashida greeted the next customer, and then gasped. It was a man. Oh, is it the sumo? Oh. That's, I thought it was like the guy who looked like a the sumo sticker. But no, it's a guy wearing a fucking sumo sticker mask, of course. And he was wearing a mask. The mask had the same design as those things they called sumo stickers. She'd heard about the stickers on the news several days ago. She'd learned that lately they were popular in Shibuya and nowhere else. She had seen them several times on her way to and from work. It was a disgusting design, and the idea of Shibuya being overrun with the things made her sick. And this man was wearing a mask with the same design. That meant she couldn't see his face. His clothes were completely normal. They weren't particularly filthy, and he didn't look like a pervert or a crazy man. But that made it even stranger that he'd be wearing a mask to hide his face, one so poorly constructed that it was obviously handmade. Why was this the... why... bleh. Was this why the last customer had seemed so anxious? The man was standing completely still. You know, to be fair, I think this would put me off too, just a little bit. He didn't say anything to Tashida. And then she realized that she'd been staring at his face for quite a long time. Well, not exactly.
すみません。いらっしゃいませ。
She looked inside a shopping basket. It was filled with several bowls of instant ramen and a single 2-liter.
4378円になります。
As she gave him the total, she happened to see the customers in the other lanes. This time, she was struck completely silent. Oh my god, are they all wearing masks? It wasn't just her register. Every single register... Oh good. Oh good, it's a cult. Wonderful. Oh no! Had a customer wearing a mask. There were so many of them. They were all standing silently. There were already 10 people lined up at her register, and all of them were wearing sumo sticker masks. The store never got this busy, even at lunchtime on a Saturday. The only thing that people in the masks had in common was that they were men. They all wore different clothes. A tall man in a sweatshirt, a fat middle-aged man in running clothes, a well-built man in a sweater, and so on. And not all of them looked like they had steady jobs, but not all of them looked like they were unemployed. And not one of them said a word. Oh my god, this is actually horrifying. I don't like this. They just stood there in a line, masks on their head and baskets in their hands. I mean, that's great and all. Are they actually gonna buy anything, or? The noisy supermarket suddenly fell silent. All the other employees and customers stared at the men in the masks, eyes wide. What the fuck was that? What was it? These games always get me to a point where there's always at least one point, like the chaos ones in particular, apparently multiple points where I'm just like, I'm flabbergasted. I need to just swallow it and move on, but god damn it, what the fuck is going on? Turning into Kazuki. On my way to the student council room, I remembered that I'd been planning on getting a mountain view, and headed back to the vending machines. Only caffeine and carbonation, combined in the mightiest of drinks, could slake my thirst. Alright, well, we found the next Mountain View spokesperson. The mightiest of drinks. Just as I was about to put my coin in the slot, I heard a voice I recognized.
お前お前手が足りないクラスの手伝いをしてるんじゃないのか。
そう、それお願いだから助けて。
She grabbed my hand and yanked me forward.
ちょっと待ってくれ。さっきからあちこち動きっぱなしで。
それどころじゃないんだって
You know, she's not using those words, but she is, at this point, she has basically said, please help me, you are my only hope. So, Spark Wars returns.
見つけた
Return of the Delusionite. I heard the exact same phrase I'd heard a moment ago.
先輩方チャオっすやあやあ今日もお二人仲が良さそうで何よりです
Oh, hey, how's it going? Say, about that whole thing about me being killed, can we talk about that? Can you like, explain, elaborate, maybe?
Huh?
Perhaps?
有村さん。
No? Okay. That's cool too, I guess.
あなた殺されますよ宮代拓先輩
Yeah, that. I'd like to talk about that, please. I remembered the words she'd said before. It was definitely Arimura who was in front of me now. The one at the murder scene. And the one who'd been talking to a detective about the case. I could feel myself starting to sweat.
有村さん、なんで
She's in teenage girl mode.
やだな後輩なんだから呼び捨てでいいって言ってるじゃないですかねえリカ
Oh, that's good.
か名前セリカでしょやだじゃあセリでファイナルアンサーファイナルなのかアンサーなのかアンサーついでに私のことはヒナでいっからはい声に出して言ってみようせーのひなダメたどたどしいぞもう一回ひなまだちょっち硬いけどいいとすっかじゃよろしくねセリ
What was she doing? This wasn't the same Arimura who'd told me I was going to be killed. This was how she was when she talked to her classmates. This only made me wonder. Was she planning something? What was she doing in the Love Hotel that day?
おどうしたんですか宮代先輩視線が熱いですよ
あ、いや
I mean, you threatened my life. So, you know.
もしや私に惚れちゃいましたかタクそうなの
違うそうじゃ
もうそんな否定しなくても素直になっちゃいなよユウあでも言っときますけど私に惚れると怪我するぜよ
It was no good. I couldn't keep up with her energy.
というわけでセリ宮代先輩借りてくぜ
は
Before I could say anything, Arimura wrapped her arm around mine and pulled me away.
あれ
Oh, oh.
アディオスグラッシャーセリまた来年
There's so many languages going on today. What we got? We got Japanese, we got English, we got Spanish.
何ですか
話してもらえませんか
これは気が回りませんで
She bopped herself on the head and let go of my arm. And then she led me further down the hall, humming as she went. What was she doing? It felt like she was up to something. She must have noticed I wasn't moving, because suddenly she turned around.
やだなそんなあからさまに用心しないでくださいよひなちゃん悲しい
She pretended to cry.
一体どこまでが本気なんだわけがわからない
ほらここですささ入って
She just like getting them alone so she can like talk seriously. Is that what it is? She pointed to an empty classroom. What was she planning on doing here?
でも
大丈夫ですって。取って食ったりなんかしませんからね。
あ、いやちょっと
Damn it. In the end, I gave in and went into the classroom.
さてと、先輩にここに来てもらった理由わかりますか？
I'm gonna say you brought me here
いえ
to murder me. That's my guess. Of course not.
心当たりないです？
I assume that's where this will go. That was the only thing I could think of. But seeing the way she acted today, it was hard to believe that it was the same girl.
どっちの姿が本当の彼女なんだろ
Maybe what I was imagining was the real her. And the reason she brought me here must be...
一体何を
実は先輩の家を調べさせてもらいました。
なんだって、一体いつの間に。いや、それよりどうやって中に。
それについてはこちらのお二人に協力してもらっちまったんですな。これが。
なんで
Traitors.
っていうかクルス、何やってるんだよ。安静にしてないと。
はい、ストップ。そんなこと今はいいんですって。それより先輩の家を捜索してヤバい秘密を突き止めちゃいましてね。
は？やばい秘密って一体。
My mind was racing. Did I have some kind of dangerous secret? Oh my god, it's the magazines. Oh my god, it's the magazines. She's talking about the fucking magazines. Please tell me she's talking about the magazines. That would be so much better than what I assumed it was gonna be. Oh my god, that'd be so funny. The ultimate like confrontation. I had no idea. I couldn't think of anything. I can think of something.
あれ？わかりません？あなた大変なものを集める趣味がおありのようで。
Her eyes were cold and filled with disgust. She was so friendly a moment ago. But now she was acting like a detective. I knew she'd been meeting with a detective earlier. Did that have something to do with this? Also, I like how she was straight up like... He's like, wait a minute. Kurusu, you got stabbed. She's like, don't worry about that for this interaction. It doesn't matter. Just don't ask questions. And now we're here. Just don't. That detail isn't relevant here. Moving on. Both Serika and Kurusu were refusing to look at me. That was the biggest shock of all.
言いたいことがあるならはっきり言ったらどうですか。
I worked up my courage and walked over to Arimura.
これですよ、これ。
It's like the triangle of shame here. Arimura took some magazines out of her bag and threw them on the desk. Busted. I gasped when I saw it.
な、そんなバカな。どうしてこれを。
ようやく事態を把握しましたか。宮代先輩、その雑誌名を言ってみてください。言いなさい。
Oh, I've never seen it before in my life.
クールキャットプレス。
It was my favorite magazine, the one that Gen brought me.
なぜこれよ。
宮代先輩の人となりを調査するためです。
クールキャットプレスは関係ないだろ。
あります。大ありですよ。宮代先輩の性癖を把握する上で重要な証拠です。
僕の性癖を知って
どうするつもりだ。いや、誤解しないでほしいんですけど、クールキャットプレスを買っているのは性的な欲求のためじゃなくてですね。むしろサブカル関連の情報を得るためと言いますか。
This is getting for the articles, I swear.
言い訳は見苦しいですよ。
This is so dumb.
本当だって。尾上、クルス、信じてくれるよな。
Oh! Shunned. Double shunned. Serica and Kurisu looked away even harder.
そんな、どうして。
自分の行いについて冷静に思い返してみたらどうです？宮代先輩は証拠を残しているんですよ。クールキャットプレスを性的欲求のために買っているんだっていう証拠を。
証拠？
Stared at the copies of Cool Cat Press on the desk. And then I realized each of them was marked with several stickers.
しまい。
What? My blood ran cold. I was definitely the one who'd put them there, and of course I knew exactly what they meant.
理解しました？
The music! What is the music? What is this? What the fuck? This is incredible.
いや、その。
先輩って几帳面ですよね。
All is lost.
あ、そうだ。
All is lost.
ちょっと付箋の貼ってあるページに何が書いてあるか読み上げてみましょうか。尾上さんとクルス先輩にも協力してもらって。
はあ？なんでそんな。
面白そうだからに決まってるじゃないですか。
Arimura grabbed one of the magazines off the table. She flipped it open to one of the marked pages and gave me a long glance before she started to read. This is incredible. This is like
新しいキッス感覚の旅に出る。はは、キッスに興味がおありですか。次。2回目のデートでお持ち帰り必勝法。そもそも1回目のデートすらしたことないだろみたいなツッコミ欲しいですか？
Why do I feel like I'm a Comedy Central roast right now? Hitting them with these zingers.
驚異のこたつマジックで女の子は好きだらけ。こたつで落とせ。こたつ？
I could feel my will draining away. This torture was worse than I'd imagined.
はい。じゃあ次は尾上さん。
Oh no, I walked over hesitantly. She still was refusing to look at me. She picked up another issue of Cool Cat Press and opened it. She looked a little embarrassed.
読んで。
Oh no. Serica,
女
no!
の子の感じるツボ大使い。
Alright, that one's particularly upsetting. Serica, no, it's not what it looks like, I swear. Oh my
視
lord.
圧師でも目指すつもりですか？夢があっていいですね。はい、次。
海を見に行こうよと誘えば女の子はついてくる。
I mean, that one seems harmless enough. Unless I'm missing some kind of innuendo there. I'm missing that
海
one.
っすか。ついてかないですよ。
I mean, sure?
はい。じゃあ次はクルス先輩。
Jesus Christ, he's already dead! Enough! You're kidding me. There is nothing in the world as embarrassing as your relatives finding out about your sexual fetishes. Don't you know what you're doing, Hinayon Arimura? Dude, he's
学校
deceased.
内恋愛の落とし穴。別れた後に気をつけろ。
I mean, again, that one, like, I guess it depends on what's in the article, but that's like, that seems like relatively harmless.
付き合う前から別れた後の心配っすか。まず女子と付き合えるかどうかを心配しましょうよ。
もう許して。
This is brutal, dude.
じゃ、そろそろ最後。
This is like
振られた時
the
に聞き
most
たい
brutal
バラー
murder
ド
we've seen in this
トッ
game
プ
so far. That one is like, I mean, come on.
振られた時って最初から負け戦想定してるんですか？それとも振られて落ち込んでる俺かっこいいみたいな中二な妄想ですか？
This is unreal.
恥ずかしい。
もうやめてくれ
That one hurt. That one hurt a lot. That was so unrelentingly brutal. Holy shit. If that happened, I'd kill myself. No. I hadn't put that many sticky notes in my copies of Cool Cat Press anyway. I mean, if I were him, after that delusion, I would probably, like, when I got home, I'd probably put some dummy stickers in there, you know? Mark some less provocative pages to, you know, throw people off, right? That's right, only one, maybe two. That's right, and they weren't in the parts that were about getting girls. They were in Kenji Minamikata's column on the articles on men's fashion. Column or the articles on men's fashion. I can read. Should stop thinking about this. Needed to figure out why Arimura had brought me here. That was so good. But I basically knew already.
事件のことですか？
Can we talk seriously though? For like a second? Arimura's expression turned serious. I gulped repeatedly, feeling a little overwhelmed.
その僕も聞きたかったんですけど、あの事件の。
何のことですか？
Arimura suddenly smiled. She was smiling, but her voice made it clear that she was refusing to answer my question. I would have liked it more if she'd been frowning. I opened my mouth as if being pushed forward by some indescribable fear.
今さらとぼけたって無駄だと思います。そのあの現場に君がいたことは確かなんですから。君はどうしてあそこにいたんですか？
She was looking at me, but I couldn't read any kind of emotion in her eyes. I almost stepped back, but I stopped myself. It's just the two of us, man.
なんか先輩、刑事さんみたいっすね。
And now she was back to her casual tone of voice.
くそ、なんだよこの子。
あの人は古い友人で、時々ああして会っていろいろと話を聞いてただけっすよ。
That was what she'd said before when she was meeting with that detective named Shinjo at Cafe Lax.
だから先輩が思ってるような関係じゃないですから、残念でした。
は？残念？
お、とぼけますか？あんなところで落ち合ってたんだから、エッチな想像してたんでしょ。もう男子ってみんなそうですよね。やらしい。
Lady, he's dead. Like, I think that's the main point, is the man is deceased. Like,
いや、
that's the
そうじゃ
focus.
なくて。
またこんなところに連れてきたから本当はちょっと期待してたんでしょ。
だからそういうのじゃなくて。
It made sense now that she mentioned it, but honestly, the idea hadn't occurred to me at all.
僕はただ純粋に
Like, at this point, I would be asking about the thing she said. Like, you know, oh, great, you don't want to talk about the hotel or the why you were there, fine. You don't want to talk about it, fine. Well, what was with the thing you said? Like, that's the part I'd be asking questions about right now. Arimura looked at me with narrow eyes, as if she was judging me. What was that about?
私が先輩をここに連れてきたのは宮代先輩のことが知りたくなったからです。
僕のことが
というわけで
She started to rustle through the contents of a cardboard box that had been underneath the desk. Huh? What was she getting out? What was she going to do with me?
だからそんなに警戒しちゃ嫌ですよ。これ手伝ってほしいだけですから。
It was a huge stack of papers.
これって
今からこれ製本するんで手伝ってください。いやー、友達に頼まれちゃって。ほら、私って頼まれると断れないタイプじゃないですか。
No, I didn't know that.
待ってください。どうして君が頼まれたことに僕が駆り出されなきゃいけないんですか？
交換条件で学食の食券2週間分くれるって言うんですもん。
だからそれにどうして僕が。
愚問な、そんなの2人でやった方が早いからに決まってるじゃないですか。
いや全然理由になって。
まあまあ細けいことはいいんですよ。まずはこっちのページから折っていきますよ。
She handed me a stack of printouts without waiting for my response.
ほらほら、口を動かす前に手を動かす人になりましょう。
Then she ignored me and started to work. This chick is a tornado. Like, I cannot follow. I guess that meant she didn't intend to tell me anything else about the case. The detective had said that Kakita, the victim in the revolving dead case, had been murdered. And that she was cooperating and exchanging information with him. But if I asked her about that, she'd find out that I'd overheard her conversation at Cafe Lax. In the end, I was forced to help make pamphlets for one of the younger classes I knew nothing about.
もうすぐ復興祭っすね。
そうですね。
やりにくいな。
何がですか？
それっすよ、それ。後輩なんだから敬語はいらないって言ってるじゃないですか。
そうですよね。
You told the man he was gonna be killed. What, like, what? Am I crazy right now? Am I losing my mind?
まあいっか。そのうちおいおい後々後々ってことで。
Huh?
で何の話でしたっけ？そう思い出した。復興祭。復興祭って言えば校庭にあるあの風鈴の飾り、先輩なんて書きました？
ああいうの好きじゃ。いやなんでも。
Oh no, I'd said what I was really thinking. Yeah, never do that.
僕それ書いてないです。言われたの忘れてて。
なんすかそれ、協調性ないですな。
I couldn't argue with that, but I had a feeling that no one got along with the group as well as Arimura.
でもそっか、その手があったか。私もそうすればよかったかもな。
Couldn't tell if she was faking or not, but at least on the surface, she seemed sincere.
有村さんはなんて？
知りたいっすか？
She brought her face up close to mine.
いや、まあ。
私はね秘密です。乙女の秘密は高いのですよ。
What? I really didn't understand. There was the Arimura I was talking to now, the Arimura I'd seen with Shinjo, and the one that told me I was going to be killed. Which one was the real Arimura?
よし、できた。
え？
ちょっと先輩、まだ終わってないんすか？遅い。
ごめんなさい。
しょうがない。私が手伝ってあげるんで、半分貸してください。
ありがとう。
No, wait, why was I saying thanks? There was no reason for me to be doing any of this anyway, was there? What was I doing?
よし、できた。
I reached up to stretch my arms, and every joint in my shoulders, back and hips cracked. I'd been helping people all day, and my body felt like it was reaching its limit.
あざっす。先輩のおかげで思ったより早く終わりました。グラッチェグラッチェ。
Alright, we got Italian now. Great. That's 4 languages today. Holy moly.
それで完成したこれはどこへ？
Got a new record.
ああ、いいっすいいっす。それは取りに来てもらいますから。
そう。
I thought about asking her about the case again, but decided against it. To be honest, the look on her face I'd seen last time still scared me.
それじゃあ僕はここで。
あ、先輩、ちょい待ちです。
え？
明日、渡部さんとの対談ありますよね。
うん、ありますけど。
Even Arimura knew about it.
友達もみんな噂してますよ。今や先輩は注目の的。
Kazuki's classmate had been talking about it too. I guess it really was a big deal. That just showed how famous Watabe was, I guess.
で、お願いがあるんですけど。
Her suddenly sweet voice made my heart skip a beat, but I tried my best to hide it.
何ですか？
その対談の時に、あのスクープの元になった画像、どうやって撮ったか聞いてくれませんか？
え？
The photo for his big scoop?
渡部さんの記事に貼ってあったあの画像のことです。
Was that what she was talking about?
どうしてそんなことを？
まあまあいいじゃないですか。細かいことは気にしない。明るく楽しくいきましょうよ。
だけど。
わかった。わかりました。じゃあこれあげますから、ひなえちゃんとの約束。
Arimura slid something into my chest pocket and pushed me out into the hallway.
ちょっと。
じゃ、助かりました。アディオスグラッシャー。
Still only at 4. I took out the thing she'd put into my pocket.
食券？
And only 3 days' work. 3 days' worth. Only 3 days' worth. The nerve. Now that I was alone, everything about Arimura seemed somehow off. Oh yeah, only now do we realize that everything that had happened, everything that she'd said, seemed like it was covered in lies. Everything, including the reward I'd been given, made it seem like I was being tricked. Yeah, you're telling me that you think something's off about that chick? Crazy. But yes, I think something is very off about her. Shinjo took out a picture of the face of the man who'd stabbed Kurusu, then showed it to Kunosato. Oh good, this chick, my favorite.
そちらの読み通り、こいつと病院に入院していた例のイラストレーターとはつながりがあった。
Kunosato didn't really react. She listened to him speak as if she knew everything he was going to say already. I truly
同じ
detest
高
this
校の
woman.
同級生だ。一時は原作と絵を2人で分担して共同のペンネームで漫画を描いていたこともあるらしい。
そいつらが一連の猟奇殺人の犯人だという可能性は、アリバイはあるのか
2人とも1年ほど前から病室もしくは部屋に引きこもりだ。イラストレーターの方は病院の監視カメラにもその記録が残ってる。壁砲の生徒を刺した男の方は家族の証言に頼るしかないが、警察に駆けつけてきた時、
And then a phone rang. Kunosato picked it up without saying a word to Shinjo.
私です。
I hate her so much. She really does. She like embodies everything I detest about certain people. Like it just every contemptible behavior and like trait just compiled into one singular character. It's incredible. Even from here, he could tell exactly how annoyed Hinai Arimura was. I keep wanting to say Hinai Animura. It's not Animura, it's Arimura. Bleh. But Kunosato cut her off before she could say a word.
ごねるつもりか、それとも報告か。どっちだ。
そういうところが。
Kunosato had no intention of listening to her complaints. Yeah, she seems to have no intention of listening to anything ever. Did she do as she was told? Did she get any results? That's all Kunosato wanted to hear.
どっちなんだ。
伝えました。これでいいんですよね。
よし。明日は当然お前も立ち会え。直接だ。出なければ意味がない。
こういうのやめてもらえませんか？いろいろめんどくさいんです。私はあなた方に協力する気は。
Kunosato hung up before she could finish her sentence. Shinjo was glaring at her.
どうした？続けろ。
Oh, you're the worst person is what's wrong. I'm sorry, every time she's on screen, unless something happens, I'm going to complain about her, because she is the worst.
今のは有村さんだろう。
I hate her so much.
代替案のない批判は誹謗に過ぎないし、誹謗は暇人か無能であることの証明だぞ。続けろ。
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
お前な。
Jeez, give me a headache. Shinjo frowned, dissatisfied, but gave up and flipped through the papers he was holding.
どこまで話したんだった？
壁砲の生徒を刺した男の家族の証言。
ああ。男の家族が警察に駆けつけてきた時の第一声は、息子が人を刺すなんてありえないではなく、息子が外出するなんてありえないだったそうだ。猟奇殺人が起こった日も絶対に家から出ていないと言っている。
Kunosato looked upward for a second, as if lost in thought.
その証言、信用してもいいとは思うな。男の作っているイカれたページが事件のあった時刻に更新されているし、まあそれが偽装と言い切れなくもないが、精神鑑定は？
相変わらず救世主がどうのこうのと繰り返している。
メガロマニアか。
Kunosato frowned as if she was annoyed.
イラストレーターは
Does she have any other
2007
face?
年頃何をしていた？
Is she capable of doing anything else?
2007年はまだ地方だ。九州だな。
確かか。
ああ、2008年末に東京に越してきて、その時高校で障害の犯人と一緒になった。
なるほど。当てが外れたな。釣れたのは結局結界説なんかの妄想に逃げ込む奴らだけか。
Suddenly, she leaned back in her chair, seemingly bored.
結局そいつらは猟奇殺人に関しては白だったか。単なる力士シールの模倣犯の可能性が高いな。
模倣犯？
アリバイが確立している以上、まあある程度だが事件との直接のつながりは薄い。間接的につながるとしたら力士シールに関することだけ。原作と絵に分かれていたということは、絵を描くのはイラストレーターの方だったんだろう。力士シールが最初に発見されたのは2007年頃の東京だが、その頃そいつは九州にいた。漫画で芽が出ず、承認欲から悪ふざけで力士シールの作者を名乗り、お互いに精神を病んで、片方は持ち前の画力を生かして力士シールに取りつかれ、もう片方は物語でも書いているつもりでそれを妄想のネタにした。無論確証のない推測だが、どの道すぐにわかる。それよりも
What was more concerning was the fact that the man hadn't left his room for years. Would he really leave it just because he'd learned about a bunch of stickers appearing? And that was where the illustrator was kept. During the New Generation madness, there were rumors that the hospital was involved with a certain religious organization that had been involved in that particular case. And it was also supposedly related to Koshin, the company involved in the restoration work that had resulted in security cameras all over town.
俺は正直半信半疑だぞ。こんないたずら書きみたいなシールが事件に関係しているなんて。
なら安心しろ。明日は別口だ。
Misato opened up a file she'd saved on her PC.
これは
明日、駅法の新聞部と対談を行う渡部の記事だ。
お前が影で接触して炎上を煽ったあのネット記者か。
ああ。
Of course she was responsible for that. She nodded and then opened up a picture of the photo of the sumo sticker that was taken at the scene. Then she lined it up against the one in the article. Shinjo stared at it for a moment, and then he realized.
表情が違ってる？
渡部は今回のこと以外でも様々な現場に潜入しては大量のスクープ画像をものにしている。その数があまりにも多いため、一部の人間が捏造だと言って専門家たちに調査を求めた。渡部は快く応じ、その結果、画像には一切改ざんの跡は見られなかった。
Shinjo figured out what she was trying to say. No way, he whispered to himself.
明日、有村に確認させる。もしそうであれば、楽しい文化祭になるかもしれないな。
You're the worst human being. Exhausted from all the work I'd been doing, I decided to use one of the meal tickets I'd been given. I headed for the cafeteria. Then I realized that I'd never used the cafeteria before and had no idea how it worked. Oh, that's relatable. There were a lot of loud groups that ate there, and I didn't like it. Send Ito. Go get me a meal. In the end, I gave up. Instead, I decided to go out into the courtyard and check on a thought I'd had. The wind chimes that had been set up for the Restoration Festival, and the wishes that were tied to them. Arimura had said it was a secret, but I was interested in seeing what she'd written down. Maybe I'd get a clue as to who she really was. Oh, that's sneaky. I tried to find her name among the huge number of wind chimes. There were no clappers inside the chimes. With so many wind chimes, if there had been, it would have made an incredible noise. I saw several other messages as I searched. Please let everyone be happy. Please don't let anyone be sad. There were a lot of platitudes like that. And then I found it. Hinai Arimura. It was just a single line. That's a good sign.
本当のことが見つかりますように。
What did that mean? The truth about the earthquake? No, there was no truth to be found. An earthquake was an earthquake. There was an urban legend that the quake had been caused artificially, but there was no way that could be true. What did she meant when she'd written this? I turned around and saw a familiar face.
もうどこ行ってたの？ずっと探してたんだよ。電話しても繋がらないし。
My heart raced a little when I heard that.
だからスマホは落としたんだって。お
He
前も
doesn't
知っ
have
て
his
るだろ。
phone.
そっか。
I dropped my phone at AH Tokyo General Hospital and still didn't have it back. No, I was probably never going to get it back. They had it now. Oh, yeah, so they were in the pictures. I just straight up did not see them. The two of them that I'd seen in the pictures on the board in the club room. Of course, I'd filled out the paperwork to have it shut off already. The phone itself was locked, so if they tried to use it anyway, it should wipe itself. So they probably wouldn't be able to see what was inside, but still, the idea of someone else, particularly someone else connected to the case, having my phone wasn't a pleasant one.
新しいの買った方が良くない？
まあ、そうなんだけどさ。
I'd spent the whole day reaching into my pocket and being surprised to find that it wasn't there. Only now that it was gone did I realize how much I depended on my phone. It was probably a good idea to do what she said and buy a new one, but that phone was...
Taku?
なんでもない。それより何か用か。
そうだった。とにかく大変なんだよ。
Actually, she looked like she was in a big hurry a moment ago.
だから何が？
だからね、とにかく来て。
You've been collected. I was dragged off again. I'd lost count of how many times that had happened today. Yeah, quite a few actually. I was about to say, didn't it only happen the one time? No. I hate that. Do not appreciate that. Thank you. That's terrifying. Don't do that again. Those voices were from my class's project, the Gero Froggy Cafe. After they'd said their lines, my classmates all started to do some kind of strange dance. They were making a video that would be displayed in the center of the cafe.
だからオリジナルのゲロカエルは喋らないんだって。
Normally, I would have been forced to spend the day recording them. But since I had to help the student council, I'd been temporarily released.
で、これがどうしたんだ？
なんか壊れちゃったみたいなの、カメラ。
え？
She pointed to the camera that I'd set up.
音が出ないんだよ。それでみんな困ってて。
Serica's tiny finger reached out and hit the play button. He was right, there was no sound from the camera.
変だな。今朝確認した時にはちゃんと。
I decided to start by checking the camera's settings. Oh, so that was it.
これ誰かが設定いじっただろ。
どうなのかな。
音声出力がスピーカーじゃなくなってる。
I called up the right setting and changed the output method. When I switched it over, I suddenly heard loud laughter and yells coming from the speaker. Serica smiled. I felt a little relieved. If they hadn't been able to take the video, who knows what the rest of the class would have said about me.
皆さん、カメラ直りましたよ。撮影しますね。
It was never broken, though.
じゃあ始めんぞカメラっ子。
はい、大丈夫です。どうぞ。
Since I was the camera expert, I was put in charge of the filming. What a pain in the butt. I didn't want to have anything to do with this crap.
じゃあ行くぞ。せーの。
The loud music started to play again, and they all began to dance. Then they weren't happy with the result. First, someone messed up the choreography. Then they wanted to change their positions. It went on and on. I only felt like doing a good job the first few times. They said it was a promotional video, but it was really just a ripoff of something they'd seen on Nikonia. No matter what I did, it wasn't going to turn out right. But they were still smiling as they danced.
何がそんなに楽しいんだろうな。
ごめん、間違えた。
もうだからそこは右だって右。お箸持つ方よゲロスケ。わかる？
Unless you're left-handed, in which case, I imagine you wouldn't. I really didn't care. I hope this would end soon.
タク、ダメだよ。顔に出てる。
じゃあお前が代わりにやってくれよ。
タクみたいにかっこよく撮れないもん。
I need someone like that. Someone to be like, your true emotions are showing. Like, oh, really? Oh, shit.
おだてても無駄だぞ。
おだててなんていないよ。
Serica gave me an easygoing laugh, like she always did. Oh, fine, she seemed to say. And then...
ねえ宮代くん、今までの見れる？
Suddenly a girl in a costume talked to me. What was her name? I felt like I talked to her before.
見れますよ。
Not Tanaka.
あれ？ちょっと音が悪くない？
このカメラのマイクって音楽録音用じゃないんだそうです、田中先輩。
Oh, it is Tanaka. Shows to go. What? Goes to show what I know. Serica was amazing. I was in the same class, and I didn't even know her name.
ふーん。ありがとう。あ、そういえばさ、新聞部ワタヤンと対談するって本当
Watayan?
ニコニアの渡部さんのことですか？本当ですけど。
やっぱマジなの？ちょっとマジだって。
Oh no. Why was she bringing everyone over here? And suddenly I was surrounded.
マジかよ、すげえじゃん。
対談って何すんの？
さあ、よくわかんないんですけど。
Tanaka seemed surprised.
え？あの動画のことじゃないの？
I was surprised. Even Tanaka knew about it?
てかさ、新聞部っていまいち目立ってないけど、実はすごかったりする？
そんなことは。
They're having an interview with Watayan. That means... And Tanaka started to talk, and everyone started to listen. What the heck was going on? I knew that Kazuki's classmates and Arimura had talked about it, but I didn't expect my own class to get this excited. Was talking to Watabe that special?
つかよ。んなことよりもう一つの噂。お前、あれってマジなん？
other rumor?
川原と殴り合ったって。
That's a that you guy. You guy. I almost reached for my cheek, but managed to stop myself.
はあ、マジで？
あ、そういえば少し腫れてる。
Course of wait, how, and why began. Guys, calm down. What was going on here?
すげえな、宮代。お前喧嘩なんかすんの？
いや、喧嘩ってわけじゃ。
で、あれだろ宮代。川原ってことは女帝と関係あんだろ？
いや、まあそうですけど。
What the hell is happening?
え、何それ何それ。もしかしてノノの取り合い？
マジ？かっこいいじゃん。
I couldn't take anymore. Yeah, heck that. I went out to the hallway as the girls started to talk about romance. Oh no, the music, it continues. I leaned up against a wall and sighed. I could hear people in the classroom asking where I'd gone. Luckily, they didn't look directly out the door. My head hurt. Erica poked her head out of the classroom. I waved a hand and told her I was fine. And then...
人気者になったね、タク。
Serica was smiling. I had no idea what she was happy about.
お前な。
They were just talking about my interview with Watabe and my argument with Kawahara because it was a good excuse to get excited and have fun.
気づいた？
何が？
呼び方。カメラっ子から宮代になってたよ。
I did notice that. It's like, hey, they called him by name. Was I?
宮代くん？
Oh god, it begins again. Tanaka poked her head out from behind Serica.
どうしたの？いきなり出てっちゃって。
そのトイレに。
あ、そっか。ごめん。
Tanaka scratched her cheek a little. She looked apologetic.
ごめんね。大事な対談とかあるのにダラダラしちゃって。ダンス次でちゃんと決めるから。
はい、私たちも可愛く撮りますから頑張ってください。
Serica answered for me.
ありがとう。
As she turned to go back into the classroom, I found myself speaking to her.
田中さん。
何？
Huh? Why was I saying this?
踊りに使ってる曲の音源、後でもらえますか？
それはいいけど、なんで？
最初のセリフ以外は踊ってるだけですから、セリフと音楽を別にして映像に重ねます。それで綺麗な音にできると思います。
そんなことこれからできるの？ありがとう。じゃあそれで。ごめん。トイレ早く行ってきて。
She ran back into the classroom, excited. Whew, that made me nervous. I felt so tired. Whoosh. Serica waved her cell phone strap at me happily. It made the same strange sound it always did.
だから何が嬉しいんだよお前。
タクがね、やる気になってるから。
別にそういうわけじゃない。ただ。
Even if it was cliche, for a moment, I thought this whole school festival thing might not be so bad. Oh. I'm down. I'm down for a fun time. For poor Miyashiro. He's been through a lot, man. He deserves a W at this point. I opened the lid on my Mountain View and took a big gulp. My head finally felt clear. Mountain View really was the water of life. I'll stick with actual water for now, thank you. By the time I'd finished helping with the setup for the cafe and other things the student council had needed me for, it was night. The air on the roof was a little cool on my skin. But still, all the preparations weren't finished, and the student council, including me and the other helpers, had been running around the whole time. I might end up having to stay the night. At school? That's a thing? That's crazy.
何が？
そりゃいくら文化祭だからって何も泊まってまで。
Is that Kurusu? Huh?
お疲れ様。
It sure were.
クルス?
For a moment, I doubted what I was seeing, but it was definitely Kurusu.
何やってんだよ。怪我は大丈夫なのか？
いやだ。あんまり重病人扱いしないでほしいわね。
But I could see her face twist with just a little bit in pain. Of course. She'd only been stabbed 2 days ago. Even I knew that she ought to stay in bed.
重病人扱いも何も重病人だろ。寝てなきゃダメじゃないか。
Whenever me or the other kids got sick or got hurt, Kurusu was always the one to say, "Don't push yourself too hard. It's okay to rely on the people around you." When I told her that, she chuckled.
覚えてるのね。
She seemed a little happy.
気になって少し様子を見に来ただけ。しっかりやってくれてるみたいで、ちょっと安心した。
大丈夫だよ。サボるわけないだろ。
勘弁してくれって言っていたのに。
それは。
Kurusu smiled, as if she enjoyed watching me choke on my words.
はい、これ。
Kurusu handed me a small bag. It was handmade from felt. Back when I still lived with her, Kurusu had made one for me, Yui, Yuto, and herself, each in a different color. Where had I put mine, come to think of it?
お弁当。あなたのことだから、どうせご飯もちゃんと食べてないんでしょ？
作ってきたのか？
おにぎりくらいだけどね。
I didn't have time to make anything more, she said. What was she thinking? Why would she do that when she was injured? I sat down and opened the bag, and there was a little lunchbox inside. There were 2 big red rice... Red? Where did I... There's... The word red is not even in this entire chunk of words. Why did I say red? What... Reset everything. It's fine. There were 2 big rice balls, a lightly pan-fried hot dog, and some tamagoyaki. She was right. None of that was particularly hard to make.
バランスとか全然で悪いけど。どうしたの？
いや、いただきます。
I suddenly felt really embarrassed. I decided to try and hide it by taking a big bite out of the rice ball. The totally not red rice ball. I feel like if your rice ball is red, that's concerning, right? I don't know, maybe they exist. It was a taste I hadn't experienced in a while. And it was one I used to enjoy all the time.
ねえ、今日のこと聞いてもいい？
Kurusu waited for me to finish, then gently asked me. I looked up and saw that at some point she had started staring up at the stars.
今日一日何があったのか知りたいの。
I see no stars.
朝から何があって、あなたがどういうことをしていたのか。
生徒会の手伝いだよ。知ってるだろ。
具体的に聞きたいのよ。あなたの口から直接。
This is actually really sweet. She turned toward me. She seemed very serious about this. I didn't really know what she was thinking, but I felt like I had to give her a real answer.
和樹の手伝いをした。
和樹の？
うん。クラスの展示に使うパーツを運んでほしいって。
そう。和樹喜んでた？
多分。ああ、そういえばスルメくれた。
そう。他には？
有村さんに知らないクラスのパンフレット作りを手伝わされた。
有村さん？
Her eyes narrowed just a little bit. Arimura was involved in the case, so she probably didn't want me talking to her. Also, that thing she said about me being killed may also have something to do with it.
大丈夫だよ。本当にパンフを作らされただけだから。
そう。それだけなのね。
To be honest, I tried to talk to her a little about the case, but if I told Kurusu that, she'd get worried. So I didn't.
それで、他には？あなたのクラスはどうなの？ゲロカエルン喫茶だったかしら？
ああ、それはなんとか形になったみたいだけど。
あなたが映像の担当なんでしょ？
Oh yeah, I nodded.
もうほとんど終わってて、残りは明日の朝。映像はもうできてるから、それに音楽を載せるだけなんだ。
朝で間に合うの？
十分だろ。
And honestly, I hadn't expected to be working until the morning of the festival.
でも、今日は泊まり込みになるんでしょ
Kurusu talked as if it was the most natural thing in the world. I almost couldn't believe it.
毎年、こんなに忙しかったのか？文化祭って。
I'd never participated, so I had no idea that everyone was doing all this work.
まあね。でも、今年は特別。復興祭も近いし、初めての3学年揃っての文化祭だから。
そっか。
We third-year students had been the first class at Hekio Academy. This would be the first year that all 3 grades had a full class at the school.
もう一日中バタバタしすぎて、わけがわかんなかったよ。
I'd been forced to carry so much stuff that I was getting muscle cramps, and then it was one problem after another. And talking to new people always made me nervous, and I'd had to do that a bunch of times. I was really tired.
何？
Kurusu saw me thinking back on the day's events and smiled.
それで？それで、あなたはどう感じたの？
How did it feel?
大変だったよ。
I think she's trying to make a point about him being like a normal kid, right? She's like, all this stuff is just what everybody does. And it was nice, right?
それだけ？
It was like she could read my mind. Damn it. That face is really funny. Dude, the eyebrows. It always comes down to like the eyebrows. That face is so it's so cute. Just because of the eyebrows. I felt just a little awkward as I spoke.
さ。
ええ。
うちのクラスとか、結構いいやつもいた。
そうなんだ。
うん。明日の渡部との対談、楽しみにしてるって。
そう。
あと、カメラっ子って言っていたやつが、宮代って。
うん。どう？タクル。
何が？
She looked like a mother giving a present to a young child.
事件なんか追わなくても、 結構楽しいものでしょ？
それは。
I tried to deny it, but I couldn't. That's right. Caruso had come all this way, even though she was hurt, just to say this.
タクル、帰ってくる気にはなれない？父さんもユイもユウトもそれを望んでる。特にユイがね、あなたがお風呂掃除をしていなかったってうるさいの。
I could imagine it. Yui was like a mini Kurusu. The women definitely had the upper hand in that household.
タクル、もう事件なんか追わないって約束して。帰ってきなさい。手伝ってほしいことたくさんあるの。タクル。
ごちそうさま。
I put the lunchbox back in the bag, stood up, and handed it to Kurusu. Then I headed toward the door.
わかった。考えてみるよ。
そう、よかった。
I could hear Kurusu's footsteps as she tried to catch up to me. But the next moment... Oh.
クルス。
I heard a small moan and turned around. Kurusu had crumpled to the ground, holding her stomach.
おい、クルス。
Pushing herself. Go get some rest.
大丈夫。
She was trying to force herself to smile, but there were thick drops of sweat on her forehead.
大丈夫じゃないだろう。
ごめんなさい。
とにかく帰るんだ。タクシー呼ぶから。
I let her lean on my shoulder as we hurried to the front gate as quietly, but quickly as possible.
青葉インまでお願いします。
I got her loaded inside the taxi and told the driver where to go.
タクル。さっきのこと考えておいて。
Fine, I get it. I moved away so I could shut the door.
タクル。ありがとう。
何が？
何がだろうね。
The door closed and the taxi disappeared down the road. Usually, everyone called her the Empress, and she acted like my big sister. Now she looked weak, as if I was the big brother and she was the little sister.
あ、そうだ、ユイ。
I remembered Yui when I thought of little sisters. I needed to send her a message about Kurusu. I still have my phone. I put my hand into my pocket and once again realized that my phone wasn't there. Damn it, how many times did this happen today? I'd have to ask Sarika.
宮代？え？川原くん。
Oh no, had he seen Kurusu here?
何かあったのか？あ、いや、そうじゃありませんけど。そうか。
From the way he was acting, he probably hadn't seen her, right? If he had seen her, he wouldn't be acting this way. He'd probably blame me for putting too much strain on Kurusu and hit me again.
ほら。
Kawahara tossed something at me. I almost dropped it, but managed to grab it at the last second. It was a can of coffee.
飲めよ。いや、でも泊まり込みになるからな。はあ。
That's still such a bizarre concept to me, the idea of like staying the night at a school. As a student, that's crazy. Like, he opened another can for himself and took a drink, then looked around the courtyard. There were stalls lined up, each covered in flashy decorations. all the preparations were finished around here.
クルスが来れないって分かった時はどうなるかと思ったけど、なんとか形になりそうだな。
うん。
What was going on? Kawahara kept glancing over at me, as if he was waiting for the right moment to say something. Eventually, he took a big sip of his coffee and said,
悪かったな。
Oh? He pointed to my cheek. I knew he was talking about hitting me.
いえ、悪かったのは僕ですから。
I mean, no. I can't say I agree with that. He began to speak hesitantly. Actually, you see...
あの日の次の朝、クルスから電話があったんだ。できればお前に謝ってほしいっつってな。
そんなの気にすることないですよ。
まあな。そりゃそうなんだけどよ。
Kawahara sighed, stretched, and leaned up against the school gate.
癖かもな。小学生の時からあいつは委員長っつうか、いつもリーダーみたいなことやってたからな。
小学生の時からあんなだったんですか。
Both Kurusu and Kawahara went to the same public elementary school. I'd gone to a different private one.
とにかく面倒見が良くてな。みんなあいつのこと好きだったよ。特に俺とあともう一人。地震で死んじまったけど、南沢ってやつはいつもクルスと一緒にいた。3人でよくつるんでたんだよ。
へえ。
知ってるか？あいつ小学校の頃は毎年リレーの選手だったんだぜ。
え？
I was really surprised. She didn't seem to be that bad at sports, but she certainly didn't seem to like them. She couldn't do a spin on the horizontal bar. He must have found my reaction funny, because Kawahara continued in a more upbeat tone.
あの地震で大怪我してな。今はそうでもないけど、しばらくは歩くのさえ大変そうにしてたんだ。
I'd had no idea. When I'd woken up a year after the earthquake, I hadn't seen any sign of that. She'd probably gone through a lot of hard rehab while I'd been in a coma.
その影響で運動はほとんどしなくなった。一度だけ運動部に誘ったんだが、断られたよ。
そうだったんですか。
There was a moment of awkwardness. I didn't know what to do. Come to think of it, I'd never talked with Kawahara like this before.
文化祭、盛り上げられるだけ盛り上げようぜ。あいつから任されたんだからな。
Kawahara turned away from me and walked back into the school building.
そうか。
All right, Kawahara, you're officially off the shit list. All right, I'll put it that way. You're all right. I realized that he'd been acting weird all day because he was waiting for a chance to apologize. All right, Kawahara, way to go. All right, it's a sumo sticker. A mysterious. We know what a sumo sticker is at this point. Like, I don't need to read that one. Call me Mr. Sumo Sticker. Totally sumo. Nom nom. Oh god, they're like memes. What is this? Is this Reddit? Is this like... I'm getting excited. I slid here. I feel like these are very Japanese references that I don't understand. I danced with bad luck. Those who put their feet in the ring have danced with hard luck. I got nothing. Oh my god. The bottom one. No. No. I hate it so much. Oh, I hate it so much. Oh, I really wish I hadn't seen that. That was the worst thing ever.
思った以上に暗くなるね。
大丈夫か？
多分。じゃあみんなおやすみ。
はいよ、おやすみ。
何も見えない。椅子どこ？
Are they all sleeping in the club room?
花ちゃん、蹴っちゃった。ごめん。そこが花ちゃんってことは、こっちに。
What was that? An elbow?
ごめん、しんちゃん。
何が？
僕だ僕。
もうどこがどこだか。
Lost in the darkness.
もういい。電気。いや、カーテン開けろ、カーテン。
オッケー。いやー、小指、足の小指ぶつけた。
This is really funny. A dim light poured in from outside. I could see the outlines of the room. I had no idea what the hell Serica had done, but she was rubbing her head and her pinky toe simultaneously.
ねえ、これでも寝られるよね。
こんなことならもう少し片付けておけばよかった。
It was almost a new day. Since everybody had to be at a meeting early, I had ended up staying at school after all. But since there were no beds, we had to sleep under our desks.
なあ、好きなやつとかいるの？
That's really out of the blue.
え？
Huh?
何？
お前に聞いてねえよ。女子2人。
Where did this come from?
いいからよ。いるのか？尾上。
私？みんな好きだよ。
That's such a her answer.
そういうんじゃなくて。いや、いい。和樹は？
I'm gonna make a prediction. I'm gonna say... I was close. Don't try to sleep and eat dried squid at the same time.
じゃあ、ファーストキスはいつだ？
まだだよ。
She's out. She's out like a light. You picked the worst group for this, my dude.
しんちゃんはいつなの？
まあいい。夜の学校にお泊まりというイベント、お前ら相手に期待した俺が愚かだった。
そうだ、忘れてた。目覚まし5時でいいよね。
She fiddled with her smartphone as she talked.
あれ？花ちゃん、どうしたの？
Was that voice Hana? I'd never heard her laugh before. What was so... Wait a second.
尾上の顔か？
なんで？変なの？私の顔。
What's happening? The light from the phone's screen lit up Serica's face in the darkness, like a horror movie. She must have been waving her hand because it would appear, then disappear, then reappear again.
どういうツボだよ。
I couldn't help but agree with him. Did she love horror? Or did she look like an enemy character in an MMO?
私の顔っておかしいの？
Kazuki burst out laughing as Sarika moved closer to her. That's adorable. What's so funny? What's so funny? Sarika said as she moved closer. Then, for some reason, they started to tickle each other. That's really funny. A lot had happened today, and they were all new experiences to me.
事件なんか追わなくても結構楽しいものでしょ
Maybe I could.
タクルもう事件なんか追わないって約束して帰ってきなさい手伝ってほしいことたくさんあるの
If I wanted to, I could go back to the orphanage and live the same life as everyone else. Or could I? That was the funniest. Oh, that was really funny. All right, we're gonna go with this and hope it's not too weird. Don't be too much, I beg of you. Also, I just want to. Oh, that's adorable.
こら逃げちゃダメ
Hey, stop screwing around and sleep, girls. Why did girls like to touch each other so much? It's not like you guys are lovers. Stop it. Me and Ito are right next to you. Don't forget that. Oh, this is gonna be weird, isn't it? It's gonna be, that type. I've been wrong before. What?
花ちゃんって胸大きいね
What? What? I don't understand it. I'm scared. I'm scared. What does it mean? I mean, oh my god, I'm regretting everything I've ever done. I'm regretting this. I'm regretting this so much. Like, what does this mean? More what? What does it mean?
花ちゃん息荒いよ
I'm scared. I'm scared to do this.
キスしていいしちゃうもんね
Okay, I have to know what it means, okay? I'm doing it for science, okay? I don't know what it means. I want to know what it means and what it implies. What will it do? I have to know. I'm experimenting, okay? It's for science. Yep.
興奮してるの
It's for science and no other reason, I assure you. What does that mean? It's more.
私も興奮してきちゃったねえ花ちゃん私のも触ってうん
So it's just like you do the thing and you might get an option to add a chunk to it. I guess is I kind of figured.
気持ちいい
You know, I'm out of water. What a really unfortunate place to run out of water.
そう私の胸ドキドキしてるの感じるうん
Same, dude. I couldn't take it anymore and gulped loudly. Kazuki and Serika suddenly stopped whispering. Oh no, they'd heard me. What do you mean they'd heard me? You're right there. They know you're there.
ねえ、花ちゃん。タクが私たちの声、盗み聞きしてるよ。
No, you're right next to me. I can't help it. I wanted to say that, but I couldn't speak. Why am I... like... I'm worried it's gonna zoom out and show something that... There's no way, right? There's no way no, it's not gonna be... It's fine. If I did, they'd know I was listening for sure.
花ちゃん、
Okay.
提案なんだけど、タクも混ぜてあげよっか。どう？オッケー。ねえ、タク？こっちおいでよ。私と花ちゃんでタクの体たっぷりくすぐってあげる。
Look at his face. All right, that was a lot. All right. Honestly, it could have been worse. Crap. When I closed my eyes, my imagination started to get the better of me. It was their fault for saying that stuff next to me. Oh well, they weren't saying any of that, right? But just listening to them tickle each other was enough to excite a healthy young boy like me. I mean, the one thing they did say was, hold on. That's still so funny. I listened carefully for a moment and realized I could hear soft snoring. Had they fallen asleep while my imagination was in overdrive? Damn it. They needed to consider my feelings too. What do you mean? I'd gotten so excited that I wouldn't be able to get to sleep for a while. I needed to think of a way to kill some time. I'm curious if that double delusion has any, like... if there's any, like, greater implications of it, right? Like... Suddenly, Ito started to fidget. He was awake? Did he know what I was thinking about? I got nervous for a second, but he ignored me and took out his phone to check the time.
どうした？忘れてた。そろそろ0時だぞ。あ。
Ito stood up and started to fiddle with the club's PC.
はい。2015年10月10日0時になりました。皆様、ようこそいらっしゃいませ。K さんと申します。
I really wish I didn't know who this was, because I can't even... Because it sounds pleasant. She sounds nice, but... I unfortunately know that she's a... two-faced... bitch-ass bitch. I heard a familiar voice.
今日の夜は少し冷え込んでいますね。着実に秋が到来しているようです。いかがお過ごしでしょうか。さて、本日放送の機会を設けさせていただいたのは、聞いてくださっている皆様ならもうご存知ですね。本日10月10日は6年前にヴァンパイアと呼ばれた事件が起きた日付です。
She was right. I had totally forgotten. Today was October 10th. Somewhere in Shibuya, probably in the next 24 hours, someone would... No, I just thought about this, right? I could live the same life as everyone else. So I could just forget about the case.
電話んだよこんなと
Ito froze as he looked at the phone.
しんちゃん？
これまでの経緯をもう一度簡単に。
What is happening? Kei's voice suddenly vanished. Ito had muted it. His hands were shaking a little.
おい。
やべえなんだこれ
何かだよ。
電話お前からだ
Oh shit! That's not good.
Huh?
It took me a minute to understand what he was saying. Then he showed me the screen.
だからこれ見ろ
Oh shit. The screen read, Takaru Miyashiro.
なんだよ、これ。
My phone was locked. No, wait. I called the company and had them shut off the account.
どうするんだよこれなあ
Didn't know what to do. Should I ignore it? I'd promised Kurisu that I'd give up the case. No, wait. Was now really the time for that? My mind raced, but I couldn't come up with an answer. The next thing I knew, I had grabbed the phone from Ito and answered it. Moshi mosh? There was silence. As everyone held their breath and watched me, I put my ear up to the phone and heard. Nothing. All I could hear was the sound of my own heartbeat. At some point, my breathing had become shallow and pained. I leaned against a nearby desk to give myself some means of support. The person on the other end of the phone said nothing. What do I do? What do I do? Damn it. What the hell was going on? Say something. Say something, you idiot.
お前、誰だ?
My voice was shaking so much it was pathetic. Everyone was perfectly still as they watched. It was no good. I couldn't hear any... Oh, it's the knocking! Dude, fuck this game. It's the knocking. The, like... Oh, I hate that. I hate it.
おいどうした
I dropped the phone and fell to my knees. Sarika had come over toward me, so I grabbed her and held her tight. I was so scared. So scared. The knocking sound I'd heard when I was at the hotel. I frantically rubbed the ear that I'd been holding up to the phone. But it wouldn't stop. It wouldn't go away. That sound. My chest was filled with foreboding. I'd snuck into that hospital and they'd stolen my phone. Didn't that count as something really bad? I'd say it qualifies, yeah.
9時半になりました。皆さん、よろしいでしょうか。それではこれより。
Alright, Culture Festival begins. I'm gonna call it here. I forgot how to save. It's fine. Alright. I am... And my brain flatlined. I'm out. Goodbye.